Hello and welcome! Let's make a monarch wing earring using a couple brick stitch techniques. I sell patterns and tutorials on Etsy, so feel free to check out my shop in the links below for more projects like this. To get started, gather your supplies. I have size 11 Miyuki Delica glass seed beads, Eslon fire thread in 4 pound, which is 0.12 millimeter, and a size 12 beadsmith needle. Starting at the lower left of your pattern, thread on the first 6 beads. You'll slide them down, leaving about a 4-inch tail. Then thread back through the first 3 beads to make a little loop. We're going to make sure the beads sit next to each other in 2 columns, then go around a few more times to secure. The working thread should be exiting out the bottom. And then you'll go ahead and thread on the next 3 beads. And push your needle down the previous stack and pull to secure. Then go back up the new beads. Here we go again, threading the next 3 beads. We'll follow the direction of the thread through the previous beads, and then come back through the new stack. This is called a ladder stitch. Just keep doing that until you get to the end of the row. And just a note, I have another short video showing how to do ladder stitch with big beads. So if you're having trouble following along, go and check out the other video real quick for bigger visuals. If you end up having any weird tension issues, don't worry too much. You can pull on the threads before and after to get things back in the right place. And you don't need it to be 100% tight either. Once we get onto the second row, that'll help even out any gaps. As we end the row, the working thread should be coming up out of the last stack of beads. And then just counting real quick to make sure I have all 11 sets. Now we're ready to start the second row. We're going to thread the next 4 beads in the pattern. And then if you turn your work a bit, you'll see that we've got all these thread ladders in between each set of beads. We want to pass our needle just under the second thread ladder and pull the thread through. Then pass straight up again through those 2 beads you just added. You can push them away a little bit for easier access. Then you'll go down the 2 beads near the edge. And then up the beads toward the center. Pull to secure. And just be careful not to get the thread tangled on the corner of your work. Alright, so now that we've established the start of the row, we'll do a normal 2-drop brick stitch on the next thread ladder. And it'll be exactly like this until the end of the row. You'll pick up the 2 beads, pass your needle under that next thread loop, and pull the thread through. Then pass back up through the beads you just added and pull to secure. Alright, I just finished the row. Here's the turnaround again to start row 3. You're going to pick up the next 4 beads, pass the needle under the second thread ladder, and pull the thread through. Straight up through the 2 beads towards the center. Down the 2 beads on the edge. And up the 2 towards the center again. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the normal 2-drop brick stitch until the end of the row. Skipping ahead, I just finished row 6 and I'm starting row 7. You may have noticed on the pattern that row 7 is a row of single beads. Same technique, different number of beads. This time I'm picking up 2 beads. I'm still aiming for the second thread ladder. And then I'll go up the center, down the side, and up the center again. I skipped ahead again and just finished the row of 3 black beads. Now I'm ready to make my loop for hanging. Grab 4 black beads. And then you could continue the thread bridge technique, or you could use this other method I'll show to help it be extra secure. Instead, you're going to go down through the top left 2 edge beads on a diagonal. Then go over just one and up on a diagonal towards that same bead at the top. The motion will be like the shape of a triangle. And then you'll go back through the bead loop. And because it's curved, you can go through just a couple beads at a time. And when you get to the other side, go ahead and repeat the same thing. Go through the 2 beads on the diagonal, and then over one and up on a diagonal. Right, so the thread is exiting out the top, and then you can send it back along the bead loop. You can do that one more time to make it extra secure. And once your thread loop is in a good place, we're going to send our needle all the way down the right side. Now we're ready to add some fringe. I already threaded the 4 black beads. We're going to skip the last bead, then pass back up those new beads and through the 3 beads of the base row. We don't want them super loose and swaying or super tight and crunching, just resting nicely. Then pass down the next stack of beads to get ready for the next fringe. Don't pull too tightly, but do make sure that the thread snaps into that little groove there. I'm going to fast forward through the rest of the fringe. Feel free to watch or skip to the next chapter for more instruction. Be careful of thread catching on the top. And be careful that the needle doesn't pass through loose thread, because then you'll end up getting a knot. And be careful that thread doesn't get bunched up in the middle of the project there. You can always use a fingernail on the last bead to sort of get leverage and pull the thread tight with the right amount of tension. Right. Now I'm on the last fringe and getting ready to finish up the project. We'll check that it hangs the way you want before we finish. You can gently wiggle your fingers down the fringe to settle the beads, making sure they have enough room to lay flat. We'll take the needle all the way up the left side to reinforce, and then make some random stitches up and down all over the main part of your work to secure it. You usually do about 3 to 6 stitches, making sure to keep changing directions. I like to end it where the thread will blend in best, and then give it a snip with some scissors. You'll do the same thing to hide the tail. And you can use your fingers or pliers to attach the earring hook. Make sure to twist away, giving yourself enough room to slide your beaded loop over that wire. And then just twist right back. Adjust it to make sure you have 2 beads on each side of the wire. And now we've got these beautiful dangly monarch wing earrings. Thanks for joining. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and have fun showing off your earrings.